everyone, welcome back to the channel. So what's going on in the world of air travel? Well, it seems like Air Canada is in the middle of a pretty big mess right now, and it's not just because of the weather. Let me tell you all about this situation and why it's causing such a stir across Canada. Here's the deal. Air Canada cabin crew members have been on strike, and things have gotten pretty intense. The strike began just after midnight on Saturday, which is when things really started to get chaotic for the airline. Hundreds of flights have been grounded, and that's not just a minor inconvenience for a few people. It's a massive disruption for the airline's 130,000 daily passengers. I mean, that's a lot of people who are suddenly stuck on the ground with no flights to take and no idea when they'll be able to travel again. The Canadian government has stepped in to try to resolve this. Canada's Minister of Jobs and Families, Patty Hajdu, has invoked a legal provision to halt the strike and force both sides into binding arbitration. That's a pretty big move, right? It means that the government is taking a direct role in trying to settle this dispute, which is something that's not happening every day. Hajdu emphasized that the decision was made due to the potential negative impact on Canadians and the economy. She's not wrong about that either. This strike is causing a lot of problems, not just for the airline, but for the whole country, which represents the striking workers, has stated that its members will continue the strike until the government formally orders them to return to work. That's a pretty bold move, and it shows just how serious this situation is. The union has criticized the government's intervention as setting a bad precedent and accused Air Canada of not negotiating fairly. They're not just upset about the current situation, they're worried about the long-term implications of this government action. Let's talk about what's actually causing this strike. It's all about a wage dispute and concerns over unpaid ground work, such as during the boarding process. That's a pretty big deal, right? Cabin crew members are doing a lot more than just serving drinks and helping passengers with their bags. They're involved in the entire process of getting a flight off the ground, and if they're not being compensated fairly for that work, it's understandable why they're upset. $1,000 by 2027, but the union has called the offer below inflation and market value. That's a pretty big gap, and it's clear that both sides are not on the same page when it comes to what's fair and what's not. The union is pushing for better pay and better working conditions, while Air Canada is trying to find a middle ground that works for the company as well, which is already facing challenges from the U.S. trade war. It's not just about the immediate impact on air travel, it's also about the bigger picture. The airline industry is a major part of the economy, and when things like this happen, it can have ripple effects across the entire country. People are worried about the impact on air travel and cargo transport, which are both critical to the economy. If the strike continues for much longer, it could lead to even more problems for businesses and travelers alike. What's next? Well, Hajdu said that it may take 5 to 10 days for regular services to resume. That's a pretty long time, and it's going to be tough for both the airline and the passengers who are affected. The government is trying to force a resolution through binding arbitration, but it's unclear how that will play out. The union is still on strike, and they're not backing down just yet. It's a pretty tense situation, and it's going to take some serious negotiation to get things back on track, but it's not without its risks. Setting a precedent like this could have long-term implications for other industries and labor disputes in the future. I can't help but feel like this is a situation that's going to be very difficult to resolve. Both sides have valid points, and it's going to take a lot of compromise to find a solution that works for everyone. I hope that the government and the union can come to an agreement soon so that Air Canada can get back on its feet and the passengers can get back to their lives. It's a tough situation, but I'm sure that with some time and some serious negotiation, they'll be able to find a way forward, and I'll be sure to keep you updated on any developments with this story. If you're interested in learning more about what's happening in the world of air travel and labor disputes, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We've got a lot more interesting content coming up, and I don't want you to miss out. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching.